thousands of years, we've watched the fight. Years of tradition, one moment of evolution. Eubank, Papa. Don't watch it, experience it. July 18th, London, Copper Box Arena. Eubank, Papa. Presented by Gladius, the future of sports.
This is Colin McGuigan for IFLTV. This interview proudly brought to you by the Mangan Group NYC. Edward?
Your mate, Mangan NYC, loves it, doesn't he?
Do you know, like, I'm not just saying this, he was the first one to buy ringside tickets to this. I feel like all your shows, he's ringside.
Well, he's very lucky to be ringside for this Saturday because this is the fight of the year. This is a fight that I'm so excited about. This is boxing, right? 23 years old, 28 years old, undefeated, unified world championship, balls on the line. This is boxing, mate. And this is, for me, this is the best fight of the year. Xander v Bouts. And watch. Listen, by the way, Xander worries me because of how confident he is. But if I'm right, a superstar will be born on Saturday night in Jerome Boot Tennis. I think pound for pound #1 incoming.
Right, is there any truth to these rumours? I've seen rumours that Jay-Z is walking out Boots and that Fat Joe's walking out Xander's ass. Is there any truth to that?
Where do you get these stories from?
It's mad if I've actually got that true. Is that true?
No, there's going to be some big performances on the night.
Another suggestion was that, kind of off topic, but Ed Sheeran's going to be a part of the Kitty Taylor concert.
Yeah. So, ironically, Ed Sheeran was performing in Phoenix the same night as Bam, right? Ages ago, I spoke to Ed, do you know what I mean? And I said, Frank Smith's his mate, he's karaoke mate in Japan, that we'd love you to perform at Katie Taylor. And he went, I'd love to do that. He's got a gig on the 5th of September. And when I saw him in Phoenix, I said to him, you know, everyone thinks you're performing at Katie Taylor. He said, 100% would have done it, but I've got a sold out gig the same night. So, Ed Sheeran, there will be some superstars at the Katie Taylor fight performing. Ed Sheeran. I don't want to string him out and get everyone excited. It won't be Ed Sheeran.
Well, can you confirm or deny if Jay-Z and Fat Joe were a part of this on Saturday
I
night?
cannot confirm or deny.
That would be insane. Ed, obviously, well, I've heard he's playing a concert. It's not going to be him, so. In terms of this fight, you just said it, massive fight. Do you think it's kind of going a little bit under the radar with the World Cup and everything going on between you and Dana at the minute? There's not been as much talk about this as what there should have been.
I don't know. I mean, I've like, you see the week before a big fight, it's really, really quiet. This wasn't quiet. This has been pumping everywhere, this fight. And I think the numbers that we're seeing, not just across the gate, you know, when you look at the interest in a fight, you have to look at so many different metrics. And one of those metrics is across social and digital. This fight is doing big numbers for us. Like the interest in a fight, this is going to be a huge, huge fight. So no, I actually disagree. I think last week, because there wasn't really a lot of big shows last week, obviously particularly in the US as well. And I think we've got great momentum going into this week. I think we'll be pretty much sold out completely. It's a huge gate. Yeah, you have got the World Cup. You've got a lot going on. But boxing-wise, like, tell me a better fight. It's only really T.O. v Shakur. And I think this fight will be a whole different kind of fight to that fight. But this, for me, is the best fight of the year. Tell me another fight that's a better fight than this year.
Do you believe that Boots becomes that superstar level after a win here?
Well, depending on how he does it. Like, if he wins by any means, he's already a star. But I always say this to fighters, right? It's the way that you win that's so important. And that's really from the early stages in your career to when you get the big moments. Like, if you look at, really for me, the fight that made Crawford a big star was the Spence fight, right? And it was what he did to Spence. It was the way that he did it. It was the way that he fought. There are some incredible fighters in the world. And actually, this goes for Bam as well. How many guys go in there to seek and destroy? Right? Like, I think Inouye's one. Bam. Boots. Like, You can have some incredible fighters with great IQ that are defensive masters. Boots does it all. So does Bam. Boots can be. He's got an incredible defense when he wants it. He's got unbelievable footwork. He's got great IQ. He can fight on the inside. He can fight long. He can walk you down. He's got huge power. He's got a great chin. So it's the nature of the victory. And if he does, like, if he goes in there and gets this guy out of there in 5 or 6 rounds and looks sensational, a true superstar of the sport is born. And that's what we're after. But this kid's ass, like, he's 23 and everyone's talking about how confident Boots is. You need to talk about how confident Zayas is. Like, both guys have absolutely no doubt they win on Saturday night. You're going to get an unbelievable fight. You've got Philly in the house. You've got Puerto Rico. The atmosphere is going to be incredible. You've got 2 great fighters. I take my unbelievable hat off to Xander Zayas. Because, and by the way, if he was to win on Saturday, I will give him all the respect. I'll bow down to him in the ring and I will say, you are the new superstar of the sport.
Do you know how smug you are? You just said, I'm going to take off my unbelievable hat.
Yeah, I know, it's weird, wasn't it? As I was saying it, I was like, I'm going to take off my unbelievable hat. I was like, what the fuck's that? An unbelievable hat. You've got some unbelievable hats.
I do actually, don't I?
You're looking unbelievable. Some of your Instagram posts at the moment, mate, are amazing.
You commented on it last night, but then I think, did you delete it after you commented?
No, I wouldn't do that.
It wasn't showing up whenever I clicked on it. I don't know why. Maybe it's your settings or something.
I don't know, but yeah.
Unbelievable looking. Thanks, mate.
Absolutely, honestly. I'm not even going to go into how cringe you are, but
appreciate it. And Ben Whitaker on this card, US debut. Was that important for you to bring him here?
Really important. And it's one of the things that, you know, again, I go on about our ability to be a global promotional company. That's one of our biggest assets to young stars. When you're building a global brand for a fighter, you can't build a global brand for a fighter unless you box him in America. And we have the opportunity for all our UK. I mean, the other Tangs fight in July the 18th in LA, but this is different. You know, Ben, he's going to walk out in front of a packed out Barclays Centre in a tough fight, really. I think, you know, this is probably one of the toughest fights of his career so far, probably the toughest fight. And again, the performance is everything. Like, don't get me wrong, we need to win, but it's how you do it. If he goes out and beats Ben Whitaker, he's done 2 rounds in like 10 months, 2 first-round knockouts. He's punching really hard. But this is a stage made for Ben Whitaker. Don't take the microphone away from me till I finish talking.
Do you think he captures the imagination of the American crowds? Because probably the casual fan hasn't really seen Ben Whitaker up to now.
In America?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you know, I'm not expecting you to walk down the street doing the silly thing that you do about me and saying, oh, do you know Ben Whitaker? Fight fans know Ben Whitaker, right? But that's a big audience in itself, by the way. But we need to show fight fans how good Ben Whitaker is. And the viral stuff that he does, again, like that's the stuff that's going to hit the casuals. That's the stuff that's going to just do big numbers globally and get everybody's attention. That's why when I talk about numbers, look at Ben Whitaker's numbers across social. Huge. That's because the casuals buy in to what he does because he's different. But, you know, we need to see a great performance on Saturday. And as I said, this is a stage set for Ben Whitaker. Listen, even Emiliano Vargas, not our fighter, they're quite similar. I think Ben is fighting tougher opposition or looking to quicker. But Vargas is a superstar as well. He gets it. He builds his brand well. And that's, you know, massive opportunity for both those guys. And great for American boxing that you're seeing 2 young stars from the UK and the US perform at the Barclays.
Do you lean on your TNT DAZN kind of deal for a fight like of this magnitude? Would there be any sort of activation on that or not?
There will be. I mean, the TNT deals are shows that are going to be live on TNT as well. We've got a huge show coming September the 4th in America, Friday night. It's actually the night before Katie Taylor on TNT. And that audience, you've got to understand, you know, for all these people who talk about other platforms, TNT is the biggest. TNT is the biggest platform showing boxing by a mile. And that's a huge opportunity for our fighters to get that reach. So we have to look at when we've got those shows scheduled and who we're going to put on and how that's going to work.
Obviously, you're not going to be at that one on the 4th.
I will be. I will be back and forward to Dublin that week.
I might be with you.
There will be a press conference on the, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday for Katie Taylor. Then I'll be over to the East Coast where we're looking to stage that fight, do the presser, and then I'll watch the fight on the Friday, straight on a plane, back for Croke Park.
Jeez. Ed, obviously, I need to speak to you about the Dana comments. No one has really spoken to you since. Obviously, there's been this back and forth, but Dana has said, in fairness, a lot of people maybe would have thought this, well, why is AJ's best friend not signed with CAA Sports? What's your response to that? Or is it not signed with your management as opposed to CAA Sports, what he signed with?
If you listen to any of my interviews, I've made it clear since we launched the Matchroom Talent Agency. Matchroom Sport, that is a promotional company, global promotional company, that has offices in the US, will not ever represent its own fighters for management. Firstly, it's illegal in this country. And people will say, yeah, but AJ fights in the UK. His last fight was in America. We have offices here. There is a chance that his next fight against Tyson Fury could be in America, and it's very likely he'll fight again. I'm not putting myself into a position to break the Muhammad Ali Act and start managing fighters because it's a conflict of interest. We've seen this in the UK before. So the reason, and I would have expected Dana to know this, but honestly, like, he's actually surprising me in everything that he's doing or saying. He's surprising me more and more all the time by how little he knows. So we did not want to basically break the law and start representing fighters on a management level. That's why over the 13 years I've represented Anthony Joshua, I've never touched his management because I'm not going to take the risk. And the talent agency will never be representing fighters because it's a conflict of interest and it's illegal in this country where Anthony will fight, has fight, just fought. We're based here. I ain't getting involved in breaking the law. So that's why.
When we kind of last spoke, you were of the opinion, I'm promoting the fight. Dana won't be. Well, actually, in fairness, you said AJ Fury. In fairness, you said you and Frank would be.
I've never said we are promoting a fight, right? In our contract, like Frank Warren, Tyson Fury don't want Eddie Hearn promoting the fight, right? We don't want Frank Warren, Tyson Fury promoting the fight. That's not because we don't like each other, but obviously there's a benefit of promoting the fight if you're on one side or the other. So we all agreed that there'll be certain things within the contract. Eddie Hearn cannot be the promoter of Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua. Frank Warren cannot be. Now, by the way, the promoter, now off paper, basically the guy paying for the fight is Turki Al-Sheikh. Okay? Everybody has in their, well, we have in our contract, and I'm pretty sure Tyson does as well. He does actually on this bit. Eddie Hearn cannot be the promoter. Dana White cannot be the promoter or anybody involved from TKO or Zuffa. And on my side, I have the TKO Zuffa and I have Frank Warren. He cannot be the promoter. So I think that we're all going to be, me and Frank are going to be involved promotionally in the event. We can't be the named promoters under the contract. Nor can Dana, nor can TKO. He can't be the promoter. Can't have any promotional involvement.
Could it be Ben Shalom then?
If Turki Al-Sheikh wanted it to be. I'll have to check the wording, but I mean, everything has to be approved, by the way, by the fighters. So you can't just, even beyond the names that are listed, it has to be approved.
I'm not being thick here, right, when I say this, but why is Dana so, like, I've never seen him so adamant. I am the promoter, this is me. He's been very bullish about it to say, like...
Because, one, his head's fallen off completely. I mean, at points, we were looking for it in the last week or so, because it's fallen off somewhere. He's the kind of guy, right? He has to double down. Now, where he's getting all excited is that Turki Al-Sheikh said to him, if we did it in Vegas, how much do you think we could get as a guarantee? So I think he took it upon himself to go out, make a few phone calls, then got a little bit of a hard-on, thought he was actually going to be involved in a decent fight, which he hasn't done yet because his body of work's been so unbelievable. And then he's gone all bullish, right? So I'm pretty chilled. Like, I know that Dana White cannot be the promoter or have any involvement promotionally in the fight. It's in my contract. It's in AJ's contract. I also know that the fight cannot take place anywhere else other than the UK in my contract. Okay? Now, if things were, if Turkey had a shake, by the way, and I've said before, wherever Turkey wants to do the fight, we will have those conversations, and we're not looking to be difficult. We entered into the agreement of this fight in order to give Anthony Joshua the fight that he wants so badly, and also to deliver, for British fight fans, the biggest fight the country has ever seen. One of the most momentous and historic sporting events of our generation, right? So at no point did we ever expect this fight to land in the US. And it can't, unless we renegotiate the contract.
Are you open to that?
Absolutely. If that's what Turkey... Listen, Turkey, most of the time, he's my pal. He's done a lot for us. He's done a lot for AJ. We're not looking to be difficult. If that's where he's paying the bill, right? If that's where he needs the fight to happen, we can talk about it. And we're open to talk about it. He's already been on to me to talk about it.
Okay, if he proposed to you, let's renegotiate, but part of that negotiation is that Dana White is the promoter of the event.
Listen, if we renegotiate the deal and the deal is good and everybody's happy, I'm not sitting here going, Dana cannot be involved. But the deal's going to change completely. So if that's to the benefit of Anthony Joshua, to the benefit of Matchroom, and involves a load more money for AJ, I don't care. Listen, we're going in to win the fight. I can't promote the fight anyway. So I don't really care. I'll promote Anthony Joshua. I'm in the fight. Do you know what I mean? Frank Warren's in the fight. Spencer Brown's in the fight. We're not going anywhere. But Dana White's not in the fight. He's trying to get in the fight because it's the biggest fight in boxing. And these kind of guys, they can't bring themselves to not try and be involved. And that's why at the moment he's like the begging and the desperation to try and be involved in a fight that he has nothing to do with. It's fine, but look, there's been a couple of occasions, not just I've been smacking Dana's bottom, but Turki Al-Sheikh has really smacked Dana's bottom. Okay, the first one was after his show. No one even mentions this because you guys are so slow, right? After the what was their fight in the Leisure Centre? Bournemouth show, right? After that, he went up and he started, you know, when he was getting all zesty and he was like, I know where the show is. Yeah, all that sort of stuff, yeah. Basically, Zuffa posted all of his comments. Okay? He got his bum smacked by Turki Al-Sheikh and they had to delete all of their messages. So embarrassing to have to do off Zuffa boxing about him saying he's promoting the event. No one even clocked this. Few people did who actually follow stuff, but you never. So, what do you think about Zuffa having to delete all their comments about saying they were promoting the event? That would have been a question you should ask, but that's okay. You want to stay neutral. Got no arsehole. Right. So, they had to delete all of their stuff saying that they're promoting the show. Bum slap number one. Bum slap number two, of course, Tyson Fury went out to the White House. Incredible. The event. And by the way, I'll give credit. Unbelievable event. Unbelievable. Dana wants to come out and start like saying he's promoting Tyson Fury. And Fury's saying all this. Then, next thing, bum slap. Tyson Fury. Then all of a sudden he's posting, no, sorry, my promoter is Turki Al-Sheikh. Put Turki Al-Sheikh in the middle of him and AJ. So the bums saw the bums raw, right? So, and at the end of the day, Dana's got to do whatever Turki Al-Sheikh tells him to do. Because guess what? Turki Al-Sheikh, seller, Saudis, they own Zuffa Boxing. So Dana's just really, he's an employee and he's got to do what he's told. Thus, do yourself a favour, take all your posts down. Yes, sir. That's what Dana does. So, like, but his head's fallen off because he can't deal with this kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So, but what he's doing now is he's really going to, fair play to Dana. Like, he's a competitor and he's very stubborn. He will try and find a way now to get involved. I'm chilled. If you want to do a new deal, if you want to renegotiate the contract, yeah, we're open to offers. But in our contract, I know what it says. And, you know, we'll talk to Turki Al-Sheikh and see what he wants to do.
Would it hurt your ego if the biggest fight potentially in the history of the sport, Fury and AJ, and definitely in British sport, happens and you're not, like, you have to let Dana White be the promoter of it? Would that not hurt your ego?
Honestly, no. Like, no, because if I let it happen, it'll be an unbelievable deal. Do you know what I mean? I've got it locked down. So if you see Dana White promoting this event, it would have been because I've renegotiated the contract. So all I can tell you right now is he's not promoting it, and legally he can't. So, but listen, and by the way, I don't even think Turki Al-Sheikh will come to me and say, I really want Dana to promote this event, because Turki don't even want to give Dana the leg up. Turki wants the glory, and so he should. Why should Dana get the glory? Turki's paid for it. Do you know what I mean? Dana's put nothing into this fight. So Turki should be the guy in the middle of those two, because without him, the fight wouldn't be happening. The rest is just ego. A little bit of ego from me, loads of ego from Maris, Frank Warren with a little bit of ego probably. Do you know what I mean? So, but honestly, I just want the fight.
Would it be a catastrophe if it happens in the US and not the UK?
No, it's not. It's never a catastrophe. Listen, this fight...
But British fans deserve it to be in Britain.
That's why we signed for the fight in the UK. Our contract says the fight will take place in the UK. That's what we signed up for. But I'm also calm, not going to sit there. If Turki Al-Sheikh comes to me and says, listen, Eddie, I'd like to do the fight in America. You know, the money, this, blah, blah, blah. Can we talk about it? I'm not going to say no. Where do I want the fight to happen? UK. Where should the fight happen? UK. Where did we sign for the fight to take place? UK. But I'm not, you know, there's a lot of money on the line. And I'm not going to, this is about Anthony Joshua as well. It's not, you know, all these questions like, what would you, this isn't about me. This is about Anthony Joshua. If we renegotiate the deal, and I think it's a great deal for AJ, and I go to him and say, listen, the money's changed, we go to America, blah, blah, blah. How do you feel about it? And he goes, listen, mate, I just want the fight. Then, or if he turns around and he's the one that's going to dig his heels in, he might say, no, I want this fight in the UK. I don't want to change. I don't want to change the location. So, and it's not about the money. It's not about giving me another 10, 15, 20 million to do it in America. We signed for the UK, and that'll be AJ's decision. To be honest with you, Colin, he wants the fight. Do you know what I mean? He's not. If you asked AJ, where do you want the fight? He'd answer like that, London. Right? This is a unbelievable moment. But at the same time, he wants this fight. And I'll tell you something now. He is firing on every cylinder he has. And he is ready. Ready for Prenger on July 25th. Ready for Tyson Fury in November.
Have you spoke to Baz about this? Like, do you speak to him and say, like, get his kind of input? Obviously, you're a great promoter within your own right, but your dad's kind of been around for so long.
I mean, I'll talk to him about
the Dana stuff even?
He loves the Dana stuff. I mean, I love the Dana. You know, I mean, I've got to say, you know, Turki might not like hearing it, but I don't want peace, if I'm honest. Like, I haven't had this much fun since the Warren days. And maybe I'm a little bit sick in the head. But at the moment, and again, I'm not saying every time Dana opens his mouth, he talks about me. But do we agree that at the moment, every single Dana White press conference is basically about Eddie Hearn? Do you know, when I go to shows now, Bam was like that. I'll show you on Saturday, right? I walk through that crowd. They going mental. Eddie, smack that Dana White up. Probably saying the same thing to him as well, by the way. It don't matter. What it's doing for my profile, he's crazy, right? So, and I love it. But I respect Turkey so much. And if he asked me to come and down tools and play nice, do you know what I mean? But I don't want to play nice. And Dana don't want to play nice. Listen, I respect Dana in the sense of he's a great competitor and he wants a war with me. And he's picked the right fucking geezer because I'm bang up for it, mate. Bang up for it. I love this shit. Love it. And like, it's nothing, this is what I live for. And again, when we started playing nice with Warren, and I'm glad we did because I like Frank and I like George, and that was a 15 years of battle. This is what, 6 months. And by the way, and I'll say it again, I don't mean to be disrespectful, Warren, that lot, on another level in terms of the war to Dana White. They just don't live and breathe it, mate. And they don't know what they're doing. And they're absolutely clueless about boxing. It's a bit like, this is very similar to me in terms of MMA, my knowledge, all this kind of stuff. I don't know enough about it. People come to me and asking me questions about Cyril Gain and all these illegal fouls. And I'm like, mate, I can only tell you what I'm watching as a casual fan. And that's what Dana is. He's a casual. You know, like when you talk about his fighters, I'd love you in one of his interviews, you know, when he says, I don't know, pulls up a name, one of his fighters, I don't know, one of them, just say, well, name me 5 or 6 potential opponents for them. You're smiling because you know. It's like he doesn't know. And I'm not saying, listen, I'm not
But has
saying,
he not always maintained the fact that he is the front of the company and he has a body of people behind him who do the work? And like you, for example, you've got matchmakers and stuff. Does he not have that?
I'm the front of the company who have got someone to do a body of work behind me.
Yeah, but you've been in this sport for so many years. Like,
You got to live it and breathe it. That's boxing's not. In UFC, if you said to him about a UFC fighter, tell me 5 or 6 opponents they could fight, he'd go, right? Same with me in boxing. So the edge is massive, massive. Like they're coming in, they're making offers to fighters. I'm thinking, like laughing, going.
I want to actually get on this, right? So the Johnny Fisher comments have come out a bit strange to me because I remember when we spoke about this on an interview before, you said, do you know what? Props to Johnny Fisher. He came to me after this event. He was we were blindsided. Came to me, told me what he was offered. What has happened since then? Why has Johnny Fisher not been in a contract since that discussion? And why is it that Dana and whoever else feels that they can do this to fighters that are coming to the end with you?
Well, they're not coming to the end. They're at the end. Yeah. So Johnny, I love Johnny, love his family. He was straight up, all right? And we had a conversation. And he's received an offer from Zuffa, of which my reply to him will be, swim, walk, or crawl to the office ASAP and sign that contract with Zuffa Boxing before they change their mind. Because I just can't pay. Like Zuffa could have offered half what they offered. I couldn't have matched it. Because Johnny, it's about the fights. Do you know what I mean? Johnny feels like he has to be taking 2 or 3 fights against opposition that for me is a co-main event or is in the middle of the card. And the fights that won't drive ticket sales and won't drive viewership. So there's a certain amount of money available for those fights. Zuffa, their offer's incredible for the same fights. And Johnny has to take it. Like, listen, I'd love to carry on with Johnny. And I think we've done an amazing job. We've had a great run. And now he's at the stage of his career where we saw in the last fight in Monaco, literally anything can happen at any moment. Take the money, mate. And I'll be really pleased for him to see him take that money. So that's really what's happened. Before, when he was going to go on that, was it the Ben Eubank card? Yeah. No, the Fury Makhmadov card. B against Jamie TKV for the British title, right? That's the kind of money that, yeah, we're talking about. But not these fights against God. Like you'll see when the Johnny's fight's announced. I can't put that kind of stuff on. And certainly not for that type of money. And I want Johnny to make as much money as possible because he could have one fight left. He could go on a little run, and I want the best for him. So he has to take it, and I'm really pleased for him because I think I can't give him that kind of opportunity.
Is that worrying for you that any fighter you have under contract, that come the end of that, they might cross to the other side for 6 or 7 times more, just because it doesn't make financial sense for you to pay that money? So in a way, Dana's got.
I don't mean to be disrespectful. We don't let a fighter reach the end of their contract if they're going to be serious players, like. And Johnny was a big. We'd had some great nights with Johnny. I'm not trying to be, but when I had the conversation with Johnny and he told me what he, and I actually don't think his plan is wrong. By the way, like. He wants 2 or 3 fights, but unfortunately, those opponents, I can't put that on. Certainly, like main event, and for that kind of money, I just go out of business. It's not, so we're running a business, not a holiday camp. And it's like, yeah, so Johnny can have really easy fights for a load of money. Sign the contract. Johnny can make this money, can buy a house. Listen, good luck. Great family, beautiful family. And that's what he's got to do.
Would you advise him to go for 1 or 2 fights or that kind of money and then come back to you?
But only if he's up for having a proper fight. Like I can't pay that kind of money for those kind of fights. Like we talked about him fighting Dillian White, for example. That's a big fight, right? A lot more money than he'd make in this offer. But I can't. It would kill me to pay that kind of money and watch him fight these guys. But for Johnny, amazing. Like, and he's right. It's over 6 times more than I would pay for him to fight that opponent. Over 6 times. So, like, and again, if Zuffa offered half the money, we wouldn't have matched it. So, good luck to you, mate. Go and sign it. Like, I'm actually pleased for Johnny. Don't get me wrong, I love him, and I don't know where his career will go. And I've always, if he could have finished his career with us and maybe tried to go on and fight for a British title, I think it would have been a great achievement. But we've had some great nights, and he's got to do what's best for him. And again, the situation's very different. He come to us, said, "Look, I'm a free." Like I had a meeting with him 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and he said, "Look, my contract's up, so I don't really know what's out there. So I should go and find out." It's fucking right. Anyway, wrote to me yesterday or something like that. I mean, the one fight offers that's just a setup, like the same old story. But even a one fight offer, and it's not a one fight offer, but that's how they dress it up. Fucking God, grab it with both hands, mate. Grab it, because he's not going to lose against these opponents. So you're actually guaranteed not just one fight, but a load of fights. Go and make your money.
Is this the type of one where the talent agency might benefit you, because you could say to Johnny Fisher, "You know what, I'll represent you here," and then you get into that side of the business with Zuffa?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to represent fighters. I know that obviously I can't represent fighters that I promote because it's a conflict of interest. I don't really want to. It's a bit messy, to be honest with you. But I don't need to represent Johnny. I just need to shake his hand and go, "Fucking go and get the money, son." Because what he's done. Don't forget, Johnny Fisher, and I know people, by the way, people are very harsh. I see the comments saying, "Oh, just because you get beat by Dave Allen doesn't mean your career's over." Johnny's with Tony Sims. He can have 2 or 3 of these gimme fights, and then they'll sling him in a big fight. And then hopefully, you never know. He's still a young man. Works hard, fit boy. But yeah, I can't, if I put on, when you see Johnny's fight announced, if I put on that fight as main event or anything, you guys would abuse the shit out of me. So I can't. It's just bad business. And as much as I want to help Johnny, the fact he's got his help now. Do you know what I mean? So, like I said, my response is and will be, mate, swim, walk, crawl, fucking sign that contract ASAP.
Lewis Crocker fights in the morning in Australia. Sad that you can't be there.
Gutted, because when the fight was announced originally, we had no show, and I was like, I'm going 100%. I love the away day smash and grab, and this is what this will be. People say, "Why aren't you at Crocker?" I'm like, mate, I've got bouts against Ice. It's quite a big fight, and we're promoting it. I lost the purse bid by 20 grand or something like that. So I spoke to the team this morning out there. Tom Dallas is there from Matchroom. I say, like, people, and he's going to win. He's going to win by stoppage. If he does what he... Oh, shit. I've ordered my Uber Eats delivery. Hang on. Oh, bollocks.
Do you know how rude that was? You didn't,
for another 13 minutes.
didn't even offer me an Uber Eats.
Sorry, no, 13 minutes, so we'd be done in 10. If Lewis does what he is supposed to and has to, he'll stop Liam Pyro. And I love Liam; he's a great fighter, but he won't be able to live with the power at 147. But you've got to fight. I said to his trainer today, H and those boys done a great job. Really, really pumped for him. By the way, Lewis looked phenomenal on the scales. You're the challenger, mate. Right? You've got to rip the title off Liam Pyro out there. Don't go to the decision. Don't go to the card. Get on him early. Body, head, cheekbones, side of the head. Mark him up, beat him up.
Does he have to win by stoppage out there?
No. I mean, it's not like you can get robbed abroad, but it doesn't. If he wins convincingly, I'm sure he'll get the decision. Don't fuck around. Get him out of there. And look, one of Lewis's assets. You know, there's a few fighters like this at the moment I talk to that I represent. Your best asset is your power, right? There's other guys that we've got as well. Try and be obviously be smart, be cute, but like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, don't start going in there trying to outbox Liam Pyro. You're too big for him. You're too strong for him. You hit too hard for him. Make those physicalities count in this fight. And if he does that and he does it early, he will stop him. But if he faffs around and lets Liam Pyro get into his room, because he's very talented, we saw that against Matthias, the fight will run away from you. That's why you've got to have the mindset of a challenger in this fight. And I believe he wins the fight by stoppage. I really do.
Do we see Crocker Donovan again?
Well, Paddy's likely to feature on the Katie Taylor card.
Tyrone McKenna.
Possibly. And look, Lewis Crocker, who's making good money tomorrow, once he beats Liam Pyro, is going to want the big payday, right? And for him, the big payday is not against Paddy Donovan. What Paddy Donovan has is an immovable position as mandatory challenger with the IBF. So the winner of Wednesday, which I believe will be Lewis Crocker, will be allowed one fight before they have to fight Paddy Donovan. Now, I think if we can create a big enough fight in Belfast for Crocker Donovan 3, I'm sure Lewis will take it for the right money. But he's also going, pay me. Like, I've got a belt in the welterweight division. Give me my millions. And that is what he deserves if and when he wins tomorrow.
Let's talk about Croke Park, right? No messing around. You always do this. Oh, maybe. Paddy Donovan, Tyrone McKenna, yeah?
Possibly.
Cardi versus Dave Allen.
I don't think Dave wants to do the fight, to be honest with you. I think he's... And I think... I can't say it's a mistake because he's got to do what's right for him, but I think he just needs... He had his fight last Saturday. He agreed to the fight, and then he's quite honest. He come back and said, look, to be honest, I just need to just get this fight out of the way. Now he's going to fight July 25th. I don't think we'll see Cardi against Dave Allen.
Will we see Cardi still? No Cardi, no party, Edward.
I'm not sure, to be honest. Like, if Thomas Carty is going to fight on the card, he needs to be in a real fight. And Dave Allen was a fight that I was happy to make. And again, Dave might change his mind because I said to Dave, it's 80,000 people at Croke Park. Like, what are you in the game for? But he's coming off a defeat. We'll see where it goes. But he's got to do what's right for Dave Allen. But I don't know what the fight would be for Carty, if not. So we'll have to see.
Emmett Brennan versus Taylor Bevan.
Great fight. Good chance.
Borland versus McGrail.
Where are you getting this from?
I have ears and eyes
It's
everywhere.
another fight that we're looking at as well. And we're also talking to Queensbury about possibly... Go on. No. About some of the Irish fighters going on. Not Anto Kakachi. There's been no conversations to put him on.
Would you be open to having him on the card? Massive name.
Yeah, to be honest with you though, like he's expensive, so I don't.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, I look, you know, I love Anta. I've got love-hate with him. Well, I do love him. But look, if Queensbury came on and wanted to do a deal, I don't know. But we've had no conversations about
Any
it.
other names you can give us of fighters that might end up on that undercard?
Yeah, there's about another 3 or 4. But there is a press conference, potentially. We're trying to potentially do a press conference next week.
Is Jason Quigley going to be on it?
No.
Right, Ed. AJ Prenga undercard. Who are we going to see there?
So there will be an announcement ASAP. There will be 2 British fighters in World Championship fights on the card.
Give us a bit of an idea. But all the comments are, why is Eddie being like this now?
Come on, let me tell you why I'm being like this. It's not my show, right? Turkey Al Sheikh is putting a show on. He's paying the money. He wants to announce. You like announce. Who cares? No. That's disrespectful. Let him announce. And by the way, that will be announced this week, 1,000,000%.
What about your schedule? August, September, October? What are we looking at?
So we'll be holding a major press conference in the next couple of weeks.
Press conference about a press conference about a press conference. Just give the fans a little bit of something. Come on. Like, give us a bit of a teaser.
If you let me finish, you fucking prick, sitting there, and what is that? Spain. I've actually got a Mexico kit over there I wore this morning to go and get a coffee. And no, what I was telling you was we're going to stage a press conference to announce our schedule. But if you want me to give you a few bits and pieces, you've got Bouts against Zayas this Saturday. Then you go into July. You've got Pacheco plus Andy Cruz in the final eliminator for the world title. The week after, you've got Anthony Joshua against Prenga, plus 2 world championship fights on the card as well. Then you go into August. Okay? August the 22nd, we will have a big fight card in London. It's a week before Moses, the 29th. September the 4th, we will have a big TNT card that we talked about earlier on the East Coast. September the 5th, the small matter of Katie Taylor in front of actually well over 80,000 it'll be at Croke Park. Unbelievable scenes. Pat Brown against Hedges and a big Manchester card come in on the back end of September. All being well, Ben Whitaker will headline in a big fight at the beginning of October in Birmingham. The end of October, we'll see Dalton Smith fight Puello for the rescheduled bout. The 7v7 will be incoming, which looks like November. Anthony Joshua will fight Tyson Fury in the middle of November. Bam will probably unify the division around November time against Chispa Medina, I believe. Bouts, once he comes through, will probably fight Fundora. Dimitri Bivol will fight Beterbiev or Benavides. I mean, fucking, what more do you want?
Got a hard on.
Got a hard on. He's fucking, I mean, listen, talk to me. Talk to me. No one else can lace my fucking boots in this game.
What about Jack Catterall, Odell Kamara joint update?
Sorry?
Jack Catterall update and an Odell Kamara update.
So Odell Kamara got to do it.
I'm just saying, like, do we have an update on his next fight and Jack Catterall's next fight?
I've not signed Odell Kamara. That's just a really random question. So I represent Jack Catterall. And listen, I hope I do represent Odell Kamara, but I've not signed his contract yet. So Jack Catterall. Sam Jones is a bit like, I mean, Sam's like, when they announced the possible fight with Tio, he's like, we're getting fucked. I said, no, Sam, when you fought Giasov, they have to fight you within 160 days or whatever it was. They can take this fight against Tio. But again, like Paddy Donovan, Jack is in an immovable position as that mandatory challenger. So if Tio fights now against someone else, the winner has to fight Jack Catterall. The frustrating thing is, how long do we have to wait? Do you know what I mean? Because we have to give Jack another fight. So, but he's solid, he's locked in, and we're pushing for that fight, and we're going to get it. Any
update on Smith Morrell being rescheduled?
Smith Morrell?
Is it going to happen?
Morrell got beat by...
I know, but is it ever going to happen again?
No.
So what's Callum Smith's...
Callum is mandatory to Dimitri Bivol.
Yeah, but you just said, that's why I'm asking you, said Beterbiev.
So if Dimitri Bivol fights Beterbiev or Benavides, he must vacate his WBO title. If he does that, It will be Callum Smith against Joshua Buatsi, probably headlining the 7v7 for the WBO World Light Heavyweight Championship rematch of the fight of the year. Plus, the most disgustingly sick and fucking orgasmic undercard you have ever seen. And that will happen. I mean, we are in talks with Queensberry, but the talks are great. We've got the same broadcaster. We all want the fight to happen. The interesting thing this time is, when I'm matching the fights, I got smashed 5-0 last time, right? Sometimes George will put a fight over and I'll go, mate, we're like a 9-1 underdog in that fight. So it's got to be like, I want to win. So the matching of this is really important. That it's 50-50. I do understand that we'll have some underdogs, they'll have some underdogs, but it can't just be, you know.
Can you give us an idea of some of the ones that you've spoke about?
Mate, I mean, loads of them. Denzel Bentley against George Liddard. Seeing what happens, obviously upcoming. Sam Noakes against Joe Cordina. Loads of them off the top of my head. Obviously, we've got heavyweights. We've got Jarrell Miller. We've got Justice Honey. You know, we've got loads of guys that could match up with those guys on the heavyweights. We're talking about Nick Ball against MJ Akhmadaliev. Talking about another one of our world champions. I can't remember. Like there's about 12 domestic. Giorgio Vizioli against Louis Doherty for the British title. There's loads of like British title stuff, world championship stuff. It'll be phenomenal if we get it going.
Right, Ed, before I let you go, Prize Guy are giving away £1 million at the end of August.
I can't go in it.
Well, I know you can't.
Have you seen my texts? I message Prize Guy. Look at Prize Guy. Look, Prize Guy. All they do is tease me. 100 grand tonight for less than 10p. Yes, please. I go, yes, please. And I can't enter because they sponsor me.
If you won 1 million, like I know you don't need another million, but if you won 1 million, what would you do with that money?
I don't know. I don't really want for anything like that. I'm not really like, no, but you know what I'm like, right? I don't spend mad money. For me, it's not about the number, it's about the accumulation. So for me, I was actually talking to someone about this the other day. They were saying about they're putting some money in here and they're built, you know, this interest account, it's building. I'm like, do you know what? That's the most exciting thing. And when I was younger, because unfortunately for me, or fortunately, money has always been at the forefront of what my dad has always educated me on. And it's not for everyone, and I don't necessarily agree that it's the right way of parenting. And I don't really do that with my kids, if I'm honest, but he did it with me. He drilled me about money all the time. Like, he would give me money. I would stack money. So, like, he would give me coins, and I would stack, like, 1p's, 5p's, 10. And I'd at the end of every week or every month, I'd take it all down. I'd write down how much is in there, and I'd keep stacking it. And do you remember those coin things before your time? It's unbelievable. You used to put the coins in, and it would tell you £10, £20. I loved it. So for me, it's not about whether it's 1 million or 10 million or 100 million. It's about stacking. Anyway, nothing to do with your question. If I won £1 million, I'd probably give most of it away.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, just on that note, then, that lovely bracelet, if you don't like materialistic things, I'll happily take.
Yeah, but that's like a little thing where I go in and just treat myself. But I wear a Whoop. I don't own a watch. I got rid of all my watches.
You got rid of them all?
Yeah, I don't want to. One, if you're ever walking around in London, why would you ever wear a fucking decent watch? Number one, joke of a place. Number two, like, yeah, it's just I'd rather wear my Whoop.
Well, Ed, appreciate it. Look forward to exciting week this week, and thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks, mate. No doubt catch up with you tomorrow.
What up?
For thousands of years, we've watched the fight. Years of tradition, one moment of evolution. Eubank, Papa. Don't watch it, experience it. July 18th, London, Copper Box Arena. Eubank per Poe. Presented by Gladius. The future of sports.